Adults, yes, they back out of the way and then help with the children. This is my first time at doing a nunchuck seminar with this many children. So you cannot move the nunchuck unless I tell you. I'm going to tell you a little bit about it first. We're going to try to teach you how to use it with control. A lot of people can flail this weapon, but they don't have control of it. You must control the weapon. You must know how many times you are going to make it do the figure eight and know when to catch it. So you don't just flail it as often as you would like. I'm going to show you a lot of things about the weapon tonight, tell you a lot of things about it. We'll try to get you to learn as much as you can. I was working with Bill Birch today so that he knows and understands how to continue the training next week or the week after. You naturally, a lot of you have the foam rubber weapon. If you do have a wood weapon, be careful. I recommend you only practice a foam rubber weapon in a group like this, and then you practice with a wooden set when you're on your own. Because if you get good with the foam rubber set, you will not necessarily be able to use the wooden one naturally because of the difference in weight. One thing that we do, and I talk to people that play musical instruments a lot, and they tell me, you know, I'm real good with the guitar, but I never pick up a stranger's guitar to use it. Same thing with this. If I go out, I don't ask people, let me borrow your weapon to use it, because you're not familiar with the size, the weight, and the balance of the weapon. You should practice with the weapon, and you carry it with you. This weapon at first was not used for self-defense. It became popular as one of the farmer weapons in Okinawa. When the island of Okinawa was overrun by the Japanese and all their fighting weapons taken away, they went to the farmers' tools to defend themselves. They used the bow staff, they used the sai, they used the weapons that they were allowed to have in the farmers' fields. This particular weapon was used to knock rice loose from stalks. It was done in just a flailing manner to knock the rice off the stalks as they come down an assembly line. And they would beat with this weapon the rice stalks, and it would knock the rice loose. When this became an actual weapon that they needed to do self-defense with it, they carved it into the shape that you see here. They made it octagon shaped. They made it octagon shaped. They made it octagon shaped so when it hit their opponent, the sport version is round. But if I really hit your skin, anywhere the skin was tight, whether you believe it or not, this wood would cut you. Would cut you open as good as a knife, because it would just be shot against your body. And that's why the octagon shape. They also taper out rather than the same size all the way down to make it harder to take it away from you, because it got fatter at the end. And as you hold it, if they try to take it away, the weapon is wider at this end so that it cannot be taken from you. A weapon is an extension of your body. No matter what weapon you get into, it's an extension of your body. When you hear about the different masters in all of the Orient, I don't care if it's Japan or it's Okinawa or it's here, most of the people that I have seen and met over the years were really good, tremendously good with one weapon. Not all the weapons. And the weapon that they were good with, I mean, they actually carried everywhere. They would have it in their belt, they had it in their vehicle, or whatever. They always had the weapon with them, with their karate gi wrapped up. They always carried the weapon. Of the different masters, I witnessed some of the masters of the past do the particular weapons. a man named Hohan Sokin, who was the man that initially got me interested in studying pressure points. Hohan Sokin was really good with a weapon called the sickle, a kama. And he actually practiced since he was 10 years of age, throwing the weapon at a board to stick it in. And we witnessed him do a demonstration in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, where he had a man strap a board on his arm. And I really thought he was going to injure somebody because at the time he was 83 years old. And he had a man walking back and forth, moving with a board on his arm like a shield. And he picked up 10 of the kamas, the sickles, and threw every one with complete accuracy and stuck it in this moving board to show you how he could throw the weapon. And then he performed a kata with the weapon, and then he showed you self-defense with the weapon. And it was like the best I've ever seen with that kama. There was a man that we worked out with up in the New England states called Izo Shimabuku. He was teaching a few of the weapons. I watched him. I thought, wow, I think maybe I could be as good as that. But then he picked up the bow staff. And the bow staff was his particular weapon. He moved it with such accuracy. It sounded like a samurai sword cutting through the air. And you knew immediately that if he had the bow staff, you would not want to fight him. If any of you have seen Remy Prissa's work, you know he's really good with the twin sticks. You would not want to challenge that person as long as he has those sticks. So they get good with one weapon. With one weapon, and they pay attention to it, and they don't try to learn all the weapons. The weapons are good for coordination. If you swing the weapon and you're not paying attention, and it's a real weapon, you will injure you. In fact, early on in the United States, the police tried to use this particular weapon. And they found out that when they hit opponents with this particular weapon, it came right back at them. And it was injuring everybody. They would pull him out and hit him, and they'd get hit. Everybody was falling down. They were beating themselves to death with a nunchuck. So they stopped using this weapon in most of the police departments. The weapon is designed, if it were made for you. Now, none of these are. And you have little hands, so you're going to have to hold on to them extra careful. But if the weapon were made for you, it should go from the center of your palm to just the tip of your elbow, as you see mine does. That allows you to hold the weapon and move it inside your own arm at somebody without hitting your own arm or your own crazy bone. So you don't just pick up a pair. They come in different sizes. They come in different lengths. Normally the standard is to buy a 12-inch or a 14-inch set. If you buy a 14 or a 12, you can cut them down. So if you have a longer arm, you cut an inch, inch and a half off. If you're a child, you had this pair, you might want to cut some off. But they should go from the center of your palm just to the tip of your elbow. If they're longer than that, you have to stand back because they'll hit you. You should not be afraid of your weapon. You should swing it enough comfortably that you have control of it. If I see somebody moving a weapon and they're like ducking or flinching from their own weapon, they do not have confidence in that particular weapon. They should always be held in the last 1/3 of the weapon. Never high. Never high. Never medium. You can actually swing them faster up here. You can swing them a little faster because of the narrower base. But you don't want a little faster. You want length and strength. You can swing them stronger from back here. Plus, if he has the weapon and he's holding it improperly, I can take a hold of any section out here and totally disarm him with the weapon. So if you have that sticking out like that, you make it very easy for your opponent to take the weapon away from you. You always hold it down low. You try to hold it like our karate chop, in that manner, so that it wedges in between the hand and left the chop. Then when you hold it, you are to make a fist, the same fist that you would make to punch somebody. Because even though the weapon is in your hand, in a close quarter situation, the first thing Bill said to me today is I didn't realize how much this weapon would be used in close. You're going to see some of that today. But if I have the weapon and we're very close, punching him with the weapon is like putting a roll of dimes or quarters into my hand. It makes my punch stronger. So if we were in close and I were going to attack with my fist, I would attack with my fist the same as I would if I were empty-handed, and to the same pressure points that we teach. So you always hold the weapon in the lower 1/3. You always hold it exactly like a punch. You don't make any other configuration. You don't hold it like this. You have no control of the weapon. You hold it like this, as a fist. Then you go open to a chop like that. You must allow the fist to open and shut in that manner, like this, so that the weapon can come back home and go between. What I'm going to have you all do now is get in a left foot forward karate stance. Everybody get left foot forward. Put the weapon in your right hand. Let it take up the string. By the way, the difference in the string and the chain, the string is what they used for the real weapon. The chain became popular in movies, especially when Bruce Lee used the nunchucks. Bruce Lee not only used the nunchucks, but they used the chain because the chain made noise. They couldn't have silence. They wanted to know the weapon was moving. So they deliberately put a chain. So when you swing it, you'll hear the chain going. That's what they wanted in the movies. They wanted sound with it. They did not want silence. So that's why the chain became popular. But the string is what was always used. This particular set of nunchucks is a pair that I actually taught Bruce Lee how to use nunchucks with. I'm one of the people that worked with Bruce Lee on using nunchucks for in the movie. This particular pair of nunchucks are dated. You can look at them later, but I have them dated, and I put on here that Bruce Lee used these in 1966. So what we're going to do is now work. You do everything I say, and we'll get good fast. Hold the weapon like this in one hand, the right hand. Get in a left foot forward stance. Left foot, left foot. Hold it here. Now what I'm going to have you do, hold it on a 45 like this, and I'm going to have you have the bottom one swing out and back, out and back, out and back, out and back. Practice that. Do it out, back, out, back, out, back. Let it go. Now let it come up. Just do this. We're not doing any twirling. All I want is this. Got that? When you use the weapon, no elbow motion. I saw some of you before the class swinging them, and I saw elbows going. You think you need elbows. That would allow the weapon to hit your elbow. The elbow stays in close to the body, just like a punch. The wrist provides the action. All I want you to do is come out, back, out, and back, out and back, so you control it. Everybody try that. Your catch. This will be your return, but it will turn into an uppercut, straight under somebody's face. Straight line up, straight hit down. Straight line up, straight hit down. Up, down, up, down. Try that. Try that. Up, down. And it should come back to this position. It should come straight up, straight down, straight up, straight down, straight up, straight down, straight up, straight down, straight up, straight down. Very good. Fun, isn't it? That I've had for a lot of years, and I don't readjust the strings because it's just an antique pair I keep. But I did tell you I had them made for me. I have several sets that are made for me. They're strung a little tight. Mine should be maybe a half-inch wider. If nunchucks are truly made for you, center of palm to tip of elbow, and the string, if you pull them up and down, should be as wide as the top of your shoulder. That's how far they would be strung. Now, most of these are not strung for you. When we deliver the nunchuck, to have control of the weapon, we do not flail it any way we want to. We will always do what we call a nose strike, a temple strike, and then come back to the catch. You watch me. So that you have control, we are going to serve it like this, backhanded. 1, 2, 3, catch. 1, 2, 3, catch. The weapon would come straight down on the face, that way. Straight at the nose, temple, face. Here, when we come back, we do temple, temple, catch. The 45 shots are designed to strike anywhere in here. Most weapons, when you use them or learn to use them, learn or teach you to hit in this area because of the square, the way it's squared off. You cannot miss hitting a spot that's going to do damage to your opponent. You would hit the shoulder, which would either make him drop his weapon or injure him. You would hit the collarbone, you would hit the neck, you would hit the jaw, the ear, or the temple. So the 45 slice is very important that it is exact. So we actually have the weapon coming straight down. Then we're going to have it make an X, a perfect X. And then come back to our catch. Now what I'm going to have you do is hold the weapon the way I showed you. You did this. Now we're going to just turn the weapon over. Just take your palm and let it face you. Now for you short guys, stick your arms out there because it's going to hit you in the face. And what you're going to do is, let's just try this. Come up and over like that. Let's just try up and over. That's it. That's it. The one you're holding on to, you keep holding on. Watch me. Take your hand, reverse it so that that will happen. Take your hand, reverse it, down strike. Take your hand, reverse it, down strike. Take your hand, reverse it, down strike. If you were holding the weapon, you would do this to hit someone. That's the way the weapon would be delivered. Just like that. Try that a few times. Just backhand, 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 backhand. Don't move your elbows. When you do this move, it must be a perfect line straight down. This is not one to have any angle. This is to catch someone on the forehead, the nose, the chin, into the chest. This would come straight down like a line. You were splitting the person in half. So you cannot have angle there. It must be that way. This is how you'll learn to control the weapon. If I'm going to hit you, I'm going to hit you like that, and it's going to catch you on the head or the nose, or in this area or the chest area. So you simply take your hand, turn the weapon over, and come straight line. Come straight line. Come straight line. Now try that. Much better. And make it straight down, divide your body in half. Not off to that angle. Right to there. Perfect. Perfect. That's it. That's it. Divide your body. Everybody divide your body in half in a straight line. Getting it? Straight line. You're going to take the weapon. You had just a basic up practice. You had a down practice. We are going to do the figure 8. I want you to serve the weapon down, but then you're going to make an X and come back to here. Watch what I do again. You're going to attack down. You're going to attack that way, and come back to here. It is to make a perfect line this way, if you have control of the weapon, and it's to make a perfect X. It's not to be wobbling. Now, in slow motion, when you practice it, it will be off. But when you practice it, it should be 1, 2, 3, catch. 1, 2, 3, catch. Delivered like that. So that you hit a person into this area, and immediately hit him into this area and this area with the X. So you would come here, down, X, X, back. Ready? Down, X, X, back. Let's try it again. Down, X, X, back. 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 Everything that we will do for the rest of the night will involve that X. Okay? I don't know if you can do this one or not, but we're going to try to punch with the weapon. Now watch what I do. Take your weapon, lift it, and you're going to let the top one go back like that. See what I did? Watch. And you're not to do it with your hand. I only did that to show you that it goes back. You let this happen. You see what happens? Now watch. Watch. Now watch. And this is called a punch with a nunchuck. This part of the weapon is going to go straight at your opponent's face, like an arrow. And it's going to hit him straight away. Then you're going to cut your X and come back to home. Watch as Bill gets aggressive with me. The weapons, just stay back there for target, will go and it will pop like that. It's thrown straight at his face. Do you see how it goes? If I were in close, that would pop him in the face with a shot. Boom! And then the X. It would come here, it folds back, it pops, X, back. Pop, X, back. Pop, X, back. Let's all try that. And I'm going to run out of the room. This is when we lose the weapons. Okay, get ready. Back. Pop, X, X, back. Pop, X, X, back. Pop, X, X, back. Pop, right at his face. You're back. Pop. Pop. And then immediately into your X and catch. Immediately. Try that. Try that while we watch. All become geniuses with this weapon tonight. It takes a lot of practice. But if you get the basic idea, the basic concept of how it moves and what your goals are, you'll make it easier for Bill to work with you with the weapon. And within a couple lessons, you'll be moving it, have complete control. You'll stop it when you want to. It won't just be out there flailing. You'll have complete power with it all the way back. We're going to try, now you watch me do it first. We are going to do, you can either do it from the throw or the serve, but we are going to make the X and come underneath our arm. Once we're underneath our arm, we hit and come underneath our arm. The hit is a down, straight at his nose again, an X, and underneath our arm. The timing comes in that your arm only lifts enough to get it underneath and hold it. The weapon comes here and comes here. Now you have this hand free and you have the weapon here. The weapon underneath the arm can be shot right at the opponent fast and then spun into the X and underneath the arm. At first look, it looks like maybe I could not use the weapon. If you saw me like this, you would think, well, he has it tied up underneath the arm, and that's wrong, because it's going to shoot straight out at you and hit you, bang, do the X and underneath the arm. Do the X underneath the arm. You're going to shoot it right at your opponent with a down strike, do your X, and do your catch. And yet if you see me like this, you think, well, he's tied up, he can't use it. But that's where it sneaks out as a direct on hit. And then you can go into, from the armpit, this catch or the armpit catch. This catch or the armpit catch. You should practice maybe one of those and then one of these. One of those and then one of these, so you catch. Try not to move the elbow. It's all in the wrist. Try that and come underneath your arm. Out underneath your arm. Everybody try it. Don't move your arm so much. Keep your arm here. Just your wrist. Very good. Actually, they're doing very good, though. The adults are having problems.
Don't film them.
Yeah, don't film the adult. Weapon and hold it out like this. Get in a horse stance. Leave the left hand where it is. Leave the left hand where it is. Take the right hand and just go up the hill like that. Draw a little circle like that and come back. Very good. This is the part Bill hates. Bill Birch hates this. This would come right hand up. Leave the left hand where it is. Nope, leave the left hand where it is. Just the right hand. This is your right hand. Only the right hand goes up, draws a circle, and goes like that. Okay, do you know what you're doing there? Catching the hand, catching a punch.
He knew it.
He knew the answer. If someone were punching, this stops the weapon. We use this and pull it tight like a bow stick so that you can stop the weapon just like a stick. If someone were punching, you would come up to parry the punch. And then this is what would happen. And you could throw him or have control. And he cannot hit you with that hand because you are locked on the pressure points at the wrist. If he tries to kick, You could throw him anywhere you want and put as much pain as you want. That's what this is. Does everybody see that? Don't you do that. I just wanted to say, I have control and I didn't hurt him. But what you're doing here, that's why I gave him rubber ones and I kept the real ones. The real ones hurt more. If this is done with the real ones, all of this octagon shape would cut into the wrist joint, would cut into the bone. It would give more pressure. So that's why these are real and these are for sport and for practice. So what you do is this. And you would parry to the left, parry to the right. You pull them apart. You keep them like that. You don't let this soft or it wouldn't work as a parry. These ends would give. You hold out. You would block or cover like that. Then you would take your right hand and just quick go over his arm and put him in that hold. Let's try this move. Now watch this. Put your left foot forward. Your left foot, your other left foot. Now, put one down as if you were blocking. Put the one over the left down. Bring the right one back so you have a right angle like that. That's it. Put the left one down. Put the right one like that. Pull the rope. You've got to be a right angle, not like this. Pull back as if you're trying to pull for your hip. Pull this one back as if you're trying to pull for your own hip. Square off like that. If someone is moving on you, we use this to stop the weapon. But for close quarter, as we stop the weapon, here, we use this to punch him. I can stop and punch in the arm, in the ribs, in the face. If I stop you with this, with the parry, using this, I can use that to punch. Does everyone see what I'm doing? That's it, exactly. That. So we would stop, parry, punch. Okay. Try that, practice that. Children might find this difficult. Don't do it until I tell you. Open up your left hand. Take your left hand and just place it behind your back like that. Place it behind your back. Stand in a horse stance. You're going to take the weapon and come over your shoulder and touch your hand. You're going to come back, down, to a catch. You're going to come over and touch your hand. When you touch your hand, you know you're at the right level. You are going to take the weapon and come around like that, and come around here and grab your weapon like that. I need you to practice that a little while. Come like this, just come around this way a few times, and then all of a sudden grab it back there. Just grab the weapon like that. Behind you. Try that. Over the head, around, and grab. Once you grab it, watch. I can come right out front and be like that. I can use all of the motion if he were attacking me from here. I can use all of the beating action, but I can take it from behind and come out hitting him with that end sticking out to catch And as I come over, this is what will happen. This will hit behind the arm and come right here, and that would come over for an over-top delivery. So the move would be from here to here, back to the original move. So you would be in a horse stance, come over your shoulder, back around, catch the weapon. Catch it back there. Catch it back on that side. You will come out like this and go like that. And have it back in the ready position for an over-top X delivery and a catch, or under the armpit catch that we taught you earlier.
I like the armpit catch.
Oh, one learned to pay attention.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, over the head. Original upswing, catch. Upswing, catch. Go over backwards, down, catch. Over backwards, down, catch. Over backwards, down, catch. Over backwards, armpit catch. Fire it at his face, armpit catch. Don't move the elbow in the back. Don't let the elbow do this. Down, underneath the armpit. Down, underneath the armpit. Now, fire it, catch it, go back for the face throw. Back for the face throw. Back for the face throw. Back, face, X, back. Over top, 1, 2, 3, catch, come around. Let's try it. Now let's get difficult and try it with the other hand. Let's do this. Let's try the left. Let's try the left. Let's try the left. Try that. When someone swings a nunchuck, now listen, if you were to do a free form and you wanted to do a lot of these, you would always finish. You can do as many as you want without thinking, but you always finish with the down temple catch to have control. Once you flail, you can flail as often as you want. But in the kata and the form, there is a certain number of flails at every move so that you have control of the weapon. Did you ever play baseball?
No.
Well, if you played baseball, you learn to catch the ball in the glove without looking. We are going to do that with this weapon now. Watch what I do. I'm going to have you do nose, temple, catch. Nose, temple, catch. Without looking down here. Without looking. You're to look at your opponent. Do this, catch. Do this, catch. You're to do 3 levels. Watch me. Stop a minute. You're to do low, medium, high. You're to stay in this range. You're to drop, catch it low, catch it medium, catch it high. Why? Because in a combat situation, you will not complete these moves. These are teaching you ideal strikes. This is teaching you an ideal strike. If I really, is everyone listening to me? If I really seriously hit this man hard on the head, the weapon is coming back at me. It does not do the ideal completion like that. That weapon will come back, and that's why we take it back over our shoulder. You understand that? In other words, that's why I had you do this. That's why I had you do this, because if I really hit him, the weapon is going to come back at me. We practice this on a heavy bag in my gym. We hit the bag and practice the catch. Because if I hit him in the head There is no X. It is bang, and it's coming back. I must let it go back over here. That's why I had you practice this move and catch it behind you. If I ideally hit him like that, that weapon is coming back at me at this level. So if I hit him, that's why I have you practice the catches. Because in a real situation, if I hit him, that weapon is coming back at me from that angle. I must know how to control it. I cannot allow it to hit him and come back and hit me. That's what untrained people do with this weapon. They would hit somebody, but it's going to come back at you faster than it went at him. So to know how to control the weapon is to know how to strike with it, practice your strikes, but realize that this is that move at somebody's head and the weapon coming back at you. To realize that these catches are coming off. If I hit him in the arm, it's coming off at this level. If I hit him in the elbow or this part or in the leg kicking at me, if he tried to kick at me, I would strike his leg. But if I hit his leg hard, it's going to come back at me hard. It's going to hit his leg, but it's going to bounce right back. And that's why I practice 1, 2, 3. That's why I practice catch, catch, catch over here without looking. That's why I practice catch back here without looking. That's why I practice catching it here. That's why I practice catching it here. Because you must know if you strike somebody and it's coming back at you, where to get it and put that weapon so that it doesn't injure you. And you can slow down the motion of the weapon by coming back here and just tapping your hand. And then coming out of it with this, so that you have control of the weapon. To use it like this is great. This looks great at a karate tournament or a demo. This will look fine. But if you ever used it for self-defense, these are the things you gotta know. And you'll probably never use it for self-defense, because in most places now they call this illegal. So you're only allowed to have them going to and from a karate class. You can't have them in your car all the time. If we can, we'll order some from Okinawa. These are made of teak wood, which is one of the world's hardest, actually one of the world's rarest and hardest woods. And to make teak wood, this is still a wet pear that I preserved. I have a light pear at home. To take a pear that's oak, not the painted or enameled ones. If you have the enameled ones and carry them, I recommend you take tape, because the enamel, if you get sweaty, will slip right out of your hands. So if he's doing a demonstration and his hand's sweaty from the demonstration, these will just slide and you'll lose them, and who will look bad? You will. So we take a piece of electrician's tape and just put it in this area. Not much. We don't wrap them. We just put a single wrap there so that you have something to hold on to and they will not slip away. These are enameled. If you take an oak pear or a teakwood pear, I found this out by accident back in the 60s, because I actually used to carry a pair of these in my car everywhere I went. And I had them under the seat. And after one complete summer, without touching them, I got them out and realized they were half as heavy as this pair. The dryness of a car through the summer. You know how hot a car gets in the summer with the windows up? Well, it saps or sucks the moisture out of the wood. And yet the wood remains hard and very light. So what I usually tell people that really want a good pair is to get a pair of wood ones, either of oak or ash or teak. Take them and put them under the seat of your car and forget they're there for a good year or two as you practice with another pair. that are a little bit heavier and moist. Then when you pull that pair out from under the car, you'll find out that they're harder and faster because they are lighter. Remember, we always hold the weapon down in this area. We never hold up here. We always hold at the end so that we have length, so that we can do this kind of a punch with it. We want to punch, we want to serve, we want to be able to control and use the weapon. I'm going to start to teach you a kata now with the weapon, a form. We're going to go through the form and I'll talk you through it. Some of you will learn it tonight, some of you will go through it, you might not remember it, but your instructor will work with you probably in the next week or two on this form so you remember it. And then naturally you're going to need practice. If I gave any one of you some kind of an instrument of any kind and you never had it before, you must practice. The same thing with this. Hold the weapon up like that. Forms. 3 katas with this weapon. A short one, a medium one, and a long one. We teach the short one, and that's the one you're going to learn tonight, so that you learn to use the weapon with control. Once you know all the strikes that I've taught you, once you know how to serve it, once you know how to punch, once you know how to catch at 3 levels, once you know how to catch behind your back and go behind your arm and get over his hand, then you can enter into the medium version or a longer version. But this first one is an ideal kata to just teach you the basics, teach you to flip and stop the weapon with control. Anytime you bow or do a weapon, it is polite to hold it in front and show it to judges. At a seminar or a tournament, you would show the weapon. You never have the weapon hidden and look like you're this way and then pull it out like surprise, surprise. If you're going to do the weapon and you have it hidden, or you have it in your belt to start, or you have it behind your back, it is polite to come out and show the weapon and bow, and then take the weapon and hide it or put it in your belt. So I'm just giving you the proper etiquette if you do this at a martial arts event. So it is proper to show the weapon. Say, I'm going to do Nunchaku Kata 1. You would show it, bow, and we would start. The first movement is going to be to take the weapon, half of it like that. Step with your left foot forward. Everybody put your left foot forward. Other left foot. And over your left foot, down block. And it would be in this manner. Now you're going to step and take one step. You're here. You're going to go behind your arm. You're going to flip it and do your X and catch it. Catch it over here with the catch that I told you. So going straight away, stay there. It was down block, behind the arm, flip and catch. Okay? Let's go back and try it again to there. Back up. You're here. Down block. Go behind the arm. Flip it and catch it. Step left foot forward and down block. Step behind the arm. Flip it and catch. Leave the left foot where it is and face that wall with the right foot in a horse stance. Come up underneath. Draw a circle. Go behind the arm. Out behind the arm. You're here. Watch. Hold it out front. Hold it out. Everybody take it out front. Everybody go over like that. and just stick your elbow through. Stick your right elbow through. Now you're going to attack down with an X and catch. Go behind your left arm. Go down, make your X and catch. You're going to pivot to the 45, a 45 degree towards that corner, and go behind your right arm. Now you're going to attack and catch. Pivot to the 45 there, go behind your left arm. Attack and catch. Step to the 45. Step to the 45 and go behind your right arm. And attack and catch. Take the weapon and pull it out like a bow stick and strike to your left. To your left. With your left leg, throw a nice side kick. And land in a horse stance. With your right hand, hit him upside the head as delivering a right punch. And with your right foot, kick him with a side kick and land facing front. You're like this, facing me. Now you raise and do that. And you go behind the right arm. And you attack the nose, temple, catch. You go behind the left arm. Nose, temple, catch. Go behind the right arm. This is when you're going to go behind your back. You're going to flip it and have your left hand behind your back. You're going to come over your head, back around, and catch it and stand up like that. Right foot moves over. Right foot will go from here over to the left. The right foot moves, not the left, Bill. That's it. Now you come out and go like that, and you would bow for the end of the form. Let me see that you know this right. Let me get you like this. Everybody hold it like that. You're going to take your left hand and move it towards the right hand. Your left hand and move it towards the right hand. As you do, take your right elbow and go through as if you were elbow striking somebody. Now you're going to go back and move your right hand towards your left hand and put your left elbow through. The weapon should be straight like mine is, up and down, that I could hit you with it. When you're behind like that, practice doing this. Everybody do this now. This will teach you to cover and block and get his arm in there like a vice to break it. Got it? Stay outside your arm. Put it here again. Now let me watch you. All you do to do this is move your left hand towards your right hand. Move your right hand up like that, like you're going to uppercut, and put your elbow through. Now when you go back to here. And go the other side by moving your right hand towards your left and put your elbow through. Good, most of you getting that. Don't go behind your shoulder though. Yeah, that's it. You should stay. Yeah, that's good. Sit down.
Put your weapons on the floor.
That's good. The difference in combat swings. If you have practiced with sport, which is this kind of motion, this is sport swinging. But there's a difference in sport and actual combat. When you learn to use the weapon for combat, you learn to swing it with its maximum power at your opponent. And then you learn to control the weapon. That would be good to practice that at home with the foam ones. But you practice that you will hear the weapon make a whooshing sound. Where it makes the whoosh is where you have the maximum power. Does everybody understand that?
Yes.
And then, even though I swing the weapon very hard, it looks like it's one constant motion. I have the weapon going out at full power. When I've heard the whoosh, I then let up on my squeeze to let the weapon ease to a stop so that it doesn't hit me. I'll just show you how this is done, because this would be the full swing of the weapon. And listen. You hear the whoosh? You will hear the whoosh sound here. And then I have the weapon caught, because I would swing it full power, but I don't want it to finish at me full power, because in a combat situation, the full power swing would hit you hard and be coming back at me. That's why you should practice it on like a bag. Because once you hit the bag full power, it's going to come back, and you have to go into one of these positions. You have to go to that, you have to go to that, you have to go to the catch, or you have to go to that. So the weapon full on would just be one full power swing, one full power punch, and then the follow-up would be to hit him or to catch your weapon. Doing the weapon coming at you, down, behind the arm. 1, 2, 3, catch. Down, behind the arm. 1, 2, 3, catch. Up to the horse. Coming here, here, again, again. Then we go to the 45. Then we go to the 45. Then we step to the 45. Then we throw, kick, throw upside the head, kick, front, here. And we would come over and hit 3 times. Here, 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 finish. And we would step up with the weapon like that. If you were to add some moves to the weapon, which we allow, you would add a routine here at the end and up at this. I have students that do this in demos, and they can do anything they want once they get here, if they practice. Some will do it, and they go between the legs. They flip, reverse it for the flip. They'll do the other hand. I have students that even toss them up in the air and catch them. It all looks good for a show. Not practical for real self-defense. But it looks good at a tournament. Let's get up and run through the kata one more time. Good?
Kind of follow us in the sideways direction, we'll get there.
I'll do it this way.
I couldn't see.
I know. Honestly not. When you go into these, you can do as many as you want. I mean, you can flip it as many as you want. You can cut it short. You can lay one on them. You can lay three on them. One guy asked me about going between the legs. Yeah, you can do that. Go over the head. Somebody grabs you from behind. They don't expect to get hit like that. So even though you're catching it here, if somebody tries to bear hug, that hits them on top of the head, actually behind the head. That's going to hit them somewhere in the testicles. So it's not a useless move, but it is going to strike from behind. So you can do that. I have students that jump up in the air and do splits where they're hitting them underneath. Anything you want to do that's showy, you add to it. But you keep the basic concept of the pattern to teach beginners so they have control with the weapon. You know, you can't just let them start out by flipping it any way they want. They won't have any control.